Yeah, up till now here in Arizona, at this point I've still seen more WNBA games.
than the actual NBA.
That just cracks me up. Women weren't created to do everything a man can do. Women were created to do everything a man can't do. You're not the best female pole vaulter because you're a dude. And people are like we should care what Europe thinks of us. Europe is a fucking mess. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. We do not care. No matter what you think of him, it's worth a watch. It doesn't matter who it is. You're never going to agree 100% with everybody. That's not a requirement. And we're not trying to take away anyone's rights. If it didn't matter, then we wouldn't have men's and women's teams, for God's sakes. Fuck, man. Like, why is that so hard? I mean, most people are using these words, misogyny, narcissism, and fascism, and fascist, and they truly don't understand
the meaning
of the words because they're applying it all the fuck wrong. I don't really care if somebody dislikes me because of him. I will not give a shit. I promise you I won't. I believe he does more good than not. What gets missed about Andrew Tate, the focus he puts on the men to be better men to attract a higher quality woman. He's not about being average. If you want to be average, do not listen to Andrew Tate. He's not about being average. This doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious.
I don't care what a critic got to say, I got them picking up the pieces. That mean you really playing with your life, I'm about to come and
just a motherfucking jump. Just go. Let's fucking go. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and the other fucking guy is Chase.
How you doing, man?
Chase, I'm doing all right, brother.
That's what we love to hear.
Yeah, we both have beings doing this in the afternoon.
Yeah, had to move some
Got a little bit
around. Yeah.
That's all right, but it seems like we have a little bit more energy to start.
Without a doubt. That is true.
We'll figure the other shit out, but you know. So Monday.
Yes.
Did I tell you we were going to go to a Suns game?
Yes.
Well, we did.
Okay. How was it?
They lost.
Yes. Yeah. I'll be honest.
And they played solid in the first half for the most part. Now, you know, I'm not as in. I used to really be into the NBA.
Okay.
You know, big time. Up until, I don't know, maybe the last 10 years or so.
Okay.
But I still pay attention. And I'll still watch playoffs and finals and that kind of stuff. And we did watch that documentary on Netflix where they followed several players, and one of those players was Edwards.
Okay.
You know, on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I liked his little cocky ass. You know, I liked him, you know. So, and they had a pretty good year last year.
Yes.
This year, not so much. And in my betting, I was picking them to win, and then they weren't winning games that they really should have. You know, they haven't been consistent. And, well, who else hasn't been consistent? Well, the Phoenix Suns haven't been consistent. But overall, if I just looked at the two rosters, the Phoenix Suns roster is way better.
That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, yeah.
Than the Timberwolves.
We can never win anything. No.
Well, but I know a little bit why now, having been to the game, watching it in person. It's the coach. It has a lot to do with the coach because I don't give a fuck if they're professionals or not. They need to be coachable. And if they're not coachable, you need to get the players gone. You need to get the players to buy into whatever they're not. I don't even know what the dude's fucking strategy is. Like, you know,
give the ball to KD and hope for the best.
Yeah, like the Bulls used to run the triangle. That's what it was called. Like there are offenses.
Yes.
And then you used to have the Jazz, who were the best team in the world years ago, with Malone, and they used to run the pick and roll all the time. Well, the Phoenix Suns run the pick that the player doesn't take, and there's no roll. Dude, what the fuck are you setting a pick for?
I don't know.
Over and over again, and then no, you don't go. See, the whole idea is you get me the ball, or you set the pick or whatever, and I go around you, and then you
run off to the rim.
Run off to the rip. Nobody does that.
Yep.
Or the guy doesn't even go around the dude setting the pick for him to give him space.
Yeah,
He'll back up.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that, dude?
No
Like,
idea.
you do not have to be, I know they're professionals, but you do not have to be, like, to know, if you just know
the basics
of basketball.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is that? Okay, so you might not know this, though. Or maybe you do. I'll be impressed if you do know. So, I was like, Bull.
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
I mean, he's newer too, or
do you know who his dad is?
I don't know who his dad is now.
Okay. Well, his dad is Manute Bull.
Okay.
And his father was 7'7" and played in the NBA and died when Bull was 10 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. So think about that, though. His dad never got to see him become an NBA player.
Yeah.
He just literally had, and what did his dad show him by age 10? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this purely genetics and gifts.
Yeah.
Right? And the dude has some talent.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe I didn't see enough of him to say that he can, like, really shoot outside. He likes to.
He
but
likes
dude,
to,
get
for
away.
sure.
But and I don't mind if you want to shoot a 10, 15-foot jumper.
Yeah.
But get inside the 3-point line. You're big 7'2" ass camping out at the 3-point line. Literally camping out.
You're not doing anyone favors doing that. Yeah.
Dude, if you look it up, his wingspan is greater than his height.
7'8" wingspan, 7'3" height.
Yeah, I thought it was over 8 foot. Like, it was something crazy. But yeah, dude,
Get in the middle of the box. What are you doing on the
get
outside?
the fucking rebound.
Yeah.
Put the 2-foot shot back in.
Yep.
And then they were winning in the first half. In the second half, good Lord, man, like, even Booker, the bad passes, just like, what? It was just total. It was horrific.
I've seen a lot of videos, and I think a lot of the team is, like, kind of just tired with the whole squad, I guess. There's a lot of videos of Kevin, because I know there's been a lot of talk of Kevin Durant probably more than likely leaving.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for Booker because he's stuck around with Arizona for a while and stuff like that, and they've had multiple chances to go, like, all the way. They've had the teams, but for some reason, it might be like you said, the coaching that's, like, really struggling, because there's been a lot of, like, talk of, like, a lot of these players just not enjoying playing in Arizona anymore. So it's unfortunate.
It should not be a thing, dude. It should not be a thing. They have the players right now to be competitive.
I agree.
And to go into the quarter, or, the semifinals, or, even the conference finals. Maybe not the NBA finals.
They play well enough,
but they have the team capable of doing that.
I agree.
With the individuals and players, and just watching their talent and what they have, it's just poor execution on offense. They even played some defense, but once Edwards got hot,
it's hard.
It didn't fucking matter,
Yeah.
dude. Because when he's hot, he can be, jumping on 1 foot all the way down the floor and fall backwards and still nail it. You know what I mean?
44 points is crazy.
Was it 44? I thought it was 46.
44.
Yeah, it might have been 44.
7 assists, 5 rebounds.
Yeah. And he was it, man. They just didn't have a lot spread around. It was, I don't know. I just was surprised. Anyway, so I bet on the game then too, of course, right? and I've been doing decent again a little bit.
Okay.
And I had
Had 20 turnovers, by the way.
it was
20
dude,
turnovers.
and
is
but what were they by
crazy.
half?
Holy shit.
I'm telling you, most of those turnovers
For the second half.
were second half, dude. It was all second half shit. They just totally
Yikes.
collapsed in the second half. It was that bad. And it was a pretty full house. I would say 95%.
Yeah, that's
You know,
that's the one
it
thing
was
I feel
pretty
bad
good.
about Arizona is like I feel like a lot, especially like basketball, we got a lot of people that come and support, and it's like always just get let down.
Yeah. And we got our parking spot again, too.
Nice, hell yeah.
We were like the second car in the lot. And we weren't there that early. Like, I can't believe. And if you parked across the street, it was $40. Or literally, we had the seats again
Mhm.
because we were basically mid-court, but we were a little bit higher up in row 26.
Okay.
But we're still down. You
Yeah.
know, like we see it. They're good seats. I'd like to be probably under row 20, but there still were really great seats. But literally, you park, you get out of the car, you walk 20 feet, you go through the doors into
the stadium.
into the stadium, and then right into our seats and down. Like it couldn't be more direct. It was a pretty good arrangement, if I do say so. But it was our first Suns game together. Well, my first Suns game ever,
Really?
and our first time going to see the Suns.
Huh.
We didn't last year. Yeah, up till now here in Arizona, at this point I've still seen more WNBA games.
Than the actual NBA.
That just cracks me up. But I hit on my hockey bet last night,
Okay.
thankfully. I think the Capitals and Vegas hit nicely, but I had $100 bet on a 5-game parlay,
Okay.
and 4 of my 5 hit, and all I needed
For the Suns to win.
with the Suns. Well, on Sunday. This was Sunday, right? It was Sunday.
Yes. The second.
Yeah. So not last night, the night before. All I needed was for the Suns, and they're pretty evenly record match teams. You're playing at home. Based on recent performance, I took the Suns.
Yeah.
$100 would have paid $800.
Ooh.
Yeah,
That'd have been a nice little
it
return.
would have been nice. But I did hit. I don't know. Go to my Facebook. I did hit last night, and I have disclosed I've been starting to use Chat GPT, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So go to mine. There you go. Now that's so funny, dude. Look at that. Houston and UCLA, not, Houston's a top team, you know what I mean?
Okay.
UCLA is ranked. But I paired that with Northern Colorado and Montana State. Dude, nobody follows Montana State.
I cannot tell you.
Dude, we could ask Montana State students what the record is of the basketball team, and they wouldn't know. But I basically got those two to add to the parlay based off of using Chat GPT.
Okay.
Now, I've been using the cool thing about using Chat GPT to help you bet is it's not going to come out and say you should bet on this team, but you can get more
like stats,
better stats and information in a shorter period of time than you can when I would check before, and I would check power rankings, and then I would try to look at the record, and I'm going back and forth and the home and away. And because instantly, I don't have to look up separately or that what players might not play in the game.
Yeah.
Or injuries or trends. Hey, they've done this, but here, the last 4 or 5 games, they've done this. I can get that all from Chat GPT and fast.
That's pretty impressive.
It is. And then I'll use the probability. I'll just ask it just basically to start. What's the probability? What are the 2 best teams to pick based on probability? And then I'll add all other factors like trends, and it'll pick it'll narrow it down for me.
That's
And
right.
I may go with it or I may not,
Yeah.
but it'll narrow it down for me where at least the chances are better than 50-50.
Gotcha.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean? And I love using it for that. And then if I have a specific game, like, why isn't this game looks like this should be it? Why isn't it doing that? And I'll ask it. I'll just ask it, like, what about this game? Why is this game not? And it'll answer me, and maybe it is. Or if I'm just picking a single game or whatever. But that's how I got the Capitals and Canadians
Gotcha.
for
Okay.
that too. Now that one, 280 paid 882. So basically, you know, it paid
$600.
$600. So I'm back above 3,000.
Nice.
Dude, so I started with, let's go over it again for everybody. I
Mhm.
started with 500, added 500, added 500. My total investment in the account was $1,500. I kept going back and forth for a long time. I've never added another dime since that 1,500,
Okay.
that last 500. And eventually I got it up to 4,000. Just crossing 4,000, not 4,100, but between 4,000 and 4,100,
Okay.
just over 4,000. And then from there, it was not pretty. It was some not pretty stuff. And teams like that should not have won, like the very worst teams in the NHL, like winning a game,
Gotcha.
that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my God, you're killing me. And I got down to 2,000.
Okay.
And now I'm like, fucking son of a bitch. And so I've been, to get the bets in, I was all the way down to right around 1,500 again.
Okay.
So, and then in less than a week, I'm back to 3,000. So I'm pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm still playing with house money, dude.
That's all that matters.
And
Right?
I want to get past that 4,000 again. I want the 4,000 to be my 1,500. I want that to be my baseline for a minute and get above that. But that's where I'm at.
You're
But
at.
I'm totally transparent and honest. I don't just post my wins. I tell you about it. I tell you when I lose or what my losses were. I just did and how much I gave back. But think about it. Overall, right now, I'm 1,500 plus here, and I'm still from last year over $10,000 ahead on Baccarat.
Looking pretty good for the
I'm
most
okay.
part. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. And having fun.
Yeah.
It's you know, to have fun and make a
Make some
little
money.
Yeah, I like that. So we'll see. Maybe we'll hit another game or so. We actually had talked about going on Sunday. Had originally been thinking about going to another baseball game, but we got the baseball game Friday. Seeing the White Sox take on the Cubs
Okay,
at the
nice.
White Sox field, and
Should be
Dawn's
a fun
being a
one for you
White
guys.
Sox fan, so we'll be doing that and have fun with that. But yeah, it did tickle me to bet on games like
Some random games, yeah.
I don't know anything about the teams. This is strictly on numbers and probability and trends
Yeah.
and making your best educated guess.
Yeah.
You know, that's all you can do. All right. So there's my sports minute. Actually though, I will say this. The Lakers have been a good bet for me lately. They've been
won
on a
like
good
7
trend.
games in a row.
Even though Luka is not playing his best, he's made enough of a difference on the floor that it's taking some of the responsibility of running the offense off of LeBron and letting LeBron move. And LeBron will go to the fucking hoop. You know what
That
I'm
man is
saying?
moving like
Oh,
a 20-year-old at 40.
Well,
It's
he's
impressive.
not having to deal with the run. It's hard to run the offense and then score too when he was trying to do both. But now he's freed up to
Do
pick
what
his
yeah.
spots and go.
Yeah.
And Luka is a great at assist. The dude can do some badass no look passes
Oh, yeah.
kind of thing. You
It's
know, the
impressive.
Patrick Mahomes shit, you know, like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, totally good with that. So it has made a big difference. So like we'll roll with it. I'm all right with my Lakers right
No, the
now.
Lakers are looking good. If everyone stays healthy, if when Austin Reeves comes back and he's healthy, like that squad is it's
This
gonna
is
be a
going to be
hard one to beat.
dangerous.
I
This
agree.
is going to be
I
dangerous
agree.
because it does matter knowing how to win in the playoffs and having that experience. That absolutely matters. And there's nobody more experienced than LeBron.
Yeah.
He just been there so many times, wins and losses, but he was still there. So it is what it is. So that's good. Um, what were we talking about before the show? Before we started?
We were talking about JFK or
Yeah,
RFK.
no, something you and I were going to talk about.
Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. Yeah, let's talk about Andrew Tate for a minute because I think it matters. It definitely matters. And because I triggered some chick today on my Facebook with a pretty simple post. And do you still have my Facebook up?
Yeah.
Yeah, go back to my Facebook. Totally triggered someone that wants to argue about it. You can have your opinion, but she tried to come, well, I'm just trying to have a discussion. You're not trying to have a discussion. You're trying to argue, and I'm not going to argue about this shit. Look, that's a simple post. Women weren't created to do everything a man can do. Women were created to do everything a man can't do. And I know some people are going to have a problem with that, and I really don't care. That's the whole point. But it is something that I absolutely believe.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely do believe when you talk about men's and women's roles, people get this crazy idea that what you mean about men's and women's roles is somehow has to do with household chores.
Everyone
That you
reverts
just-
back to like the olden
Oh,
days or
they
whatever.
think that it's about, a woman being in the kitchen or whatever. And see, the feminists really aren't about women's choice because they don't support women who raise kids and don't have, a job outside of the home. They don't support them. See, to me, that's part of choice. And I'm not saying that that's some. I don't care if a woman has a job or doesn't have a job. Makes no difference to me. But in my discussion with it back and forth, men can be good single parents. And if somebody's married and the wife passes and the kids are 7 and 10, absolutely a man can step up and be a great parent. He could be a great parent while sharing the parental duties. But his job is to be the best father he can be. His job is not to play both roles. See, there are women who are mistaken that think if they're single for whatever reason, because the husband has passed or divorced or whatever, that their role is to not only be the mother, but to be the father too. And it's not their role. Their role is simply to be the best mother that they can possibly be. Because you can't be a man. There is no woman that can teach a boy how to be a man better than a man can teach a boy. It doesn't mean all men are good teachers, but you can't teach somebody to be something that you're not.
I have to disagree with that.
Fire it away. Let's hear it.
Because
how can a woman
I
teach a boy how to be masculine?
I think I've met a lot of masculine women in my life, and I don't know if that's just from the culture I come from and stuff like that.
But those women are usually going to end up with effeminate partners.
No. So the thing is, like, or at least this is the way I grew up, is like a lot of my aunts and uncles kind of, everyone grows up around each other, right? So like you have your uncles, your whatever. So you kind of learn off of like other relatives and stuff like that. Do I agree with the statement that, yeah, you can't necessarily, a woman can't necessarily teach a man how to truly be like all aspects of a man?
Right.
But
that's what we were saying.
There's a good amount of stuff that or at least, again, because like,
just shoot an example. Give me an example.
off the dome. That's kind of hard. Just things like I don't know, like respect, right? But like being able
Is
to be
that
like,
one or the other? Really?
well, that's the thing, right? Like it just kind of depends on like your like what do you want out of the kid, right? Like what do you truly want the kid? Because then we're gonna have to go into the discussion of what is
Mm-hmm.
considered to be a true man and what is considered to be a true woman, right? And
Yeah.
then so like there's a lot of aspect. Again, this might just be from like the way I grew up and kind of my surroundings,
That's
but I do truly believe that a woman can teach a man how to be a man. But there is a lot of things that a man has
okay,
to go through
but
that a
if
woman can experience, so it's hard to explain.
if a woman is capable of teaching young men or boys how to be men,
Mhm.
then the reverse would also have to be true.
I believe it's true.
I can't, dude.
I think that
Men are not nurturing.
not all of them, but I
Most men are not nurturing. That doesn't mean we don't have a small amount or we can't be empathetic
Yeah.
or that, but that nurturing is not in our nature.
Yeah.
We can be a good parent.
Yeah.
We can play our role, but it's going to be, there's a part that's going to be missed. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad or the child's going to grow up and be terrible because he didn't have two parents for whatever the reason was.
Yeah.
That's not my point at all. My point is simply men and women are different.
correct. I agree with that.
That's all I'm saying.
That I agree with.
Okay, well, we're different. We have different dominances. And I am going to best be able to convey those things that are part of my dominance.
Yeah.
You can use the same dominant word about a woman, you know, making decisions. Men and women don't make decisions the same way.
No, I agree with that.
Okay. Well, I can't teach a woman how to make decisions in that way. I would teach
See, but then that
my
goes,
way.
see-
That's me being me. I can fill the father role.
yeah, but
in
then that goes back to like the idea of what do you consider for a kid to be like either a boy to be a man or a woman to be a woman. Like that just kind of goes back to the concept of what you believe
Absolutely,
there.
it does. Well, I believe men and women have general roles, but I'm not breaking those roles down
Mhm.
to household duties.
No,
No,
that's,
but people do. That's the first
yeah,
thing they
a lot
go
of-
to,
a
and
lot of
that's
people are
so
stupid.
shallow.
Yeah, a lot of
and
people are stupid.
it's just dumb.
No, but on the broader kind of thing where like I do believe like a lot of aspects of life of being a man, I do believe you can pick up from a woman, and I think it's actually important.
What a woman can do is convey to the boy, from a woman's perspective
Mhm,
of how to treat a woman.
mhm.
Okay, but it's still from a woman's perspective.
Yeah,
It's still not.
see,
It's
that's
still
just
not.
see again. That's just such. I don't know. Again,
No, I don't think so. I think it's generational.
yes and no. I don't know because again, like
But I think there's a shift.
100%. There's been a shift without a doubt. There's been a shift, especially with
Yeah,
like, the
that
whole
we
social
just
media
went
and stuff
so
like that.
far to the one side that now, men have lost their masculinity.
Yeah.
That we've tried to make. I don't want to make men and women are equal in the eyes of God and in their importance. I'm not saying that when I think, even particular jobs, men. There are some great men out there who are excellent nurses.
Yeah.
Okay. But what? 80 it has to be 80% plus of nurses are women.
Oh yeah. I mean that.
Okay, but
that-
why?
Because they're just naturally more nurturing.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
I
my point.
I never disagreed with that point. Yeah.
Okay,
but
well, don't get caught in the weeds or the, in the
because what you said was
forest for the
that
trees.
a woman cannot teach a man how to be a man, and that is what I disagree with.
Yeah, but that's why I think that the mostly it cannot be done. That you could teach
Because-
what a man should be from a woman's perspective, or what a good woman is looking for, or to be respectful and that kind of stuff.
Yes and no.
But
because like again, like let's say for instance, like I had my
Uh-huh.
mother grew up with a lot of men in her, like a lot of brothers. She has 13 different siblings,
Yeah.
and more than half of them are men. So she understands. She hung around the men a lot, so she understands like the life of a man and like the way you. So that's why I feel like the statement of like yes, women are a lot more nurturing and men are a lot more like strength and stuff like more like get the job done, I guess. But that doesn't mean necessarily that a woman can't teach a man how to be a man if they're not surrounded. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I'm kind of, but I think the
But again,
the
that goes
thing
back
is,
to how
because
my
you
family
still
grew up and stuff like
no,
that.
it's not just your family. So like that's it's. I think we're not missing it by much. We're not missing each other by much because of other things you've said. So it's more of I wasn't presenting it to be an absolute.
I get
Do
what
you
you're
see what I'm
saying.
saying?
I
So there's
100%.
a little bit
I
like I get
because
that.
for the woman to be able to learn how a man goes about, they would have to hang around men. I get that concept, but it was just a statement that you said that women can't teach a man how to be a man. That is something I completely disagree with.
Yeah, but most women aren't gonna,
Oh yeah, well that's without a doubt.
stand and like fight and be protective.
I don't know. I know a lot of very fighty
It's yeah, but
protective,
this
but that's
I
more of the
understand, but
nurturing part.
that's
It's
the
not necessary.
different type of protection. You know
100%.
what I mean?
I agree.
And I'm not saying women can't do certain things, but we are all better at
At certain
even
things, biologically, yes.
yes,
Biologically, yes,
yes.
100%.
That's what I'm.
I agree with that.
That's
100%.
that's what I'm saying. We're not far apart.
No, I didn't think so either. It was just that one statement. I don't know if
And I don't mind having that
yeah,
discussion. But when somebody comes did it like that, I
just
don't.
nonsense. No,
That I don't
I have
like.
a lot of
That's
friends
not
that
a
are like that.
discussion like that. That's not the point.
Yeah, exactly.
The
No,
point is where we've been as a society and how we've gone too far trying to make things because I even at one point said, well, look, it seems like here lately
mhm,
that the best woman in a lot of
is
things
a man.
is a man.
Yeah.
How do you like that?
I mean, unfortunately, like at this point in time in society, it's true. Like when
But
it comes
it's
to sports
bullshit.
and 100% is
But
bullshit.
it's bullshit when, when a man is the best female pole vaulter. You're not the best female pole vaulter because you're a dude.
Yep.
But we keep doing this. We keep trying to make men and women equal. And that's not,
It's
to me,
not.
that's not
No.
what equality means.
No. Yeah.
It means equality as in the value of the person.
Mhm.
That women do not have when men and women were not treated equally years and years ago, when women's opinions weren't even considered because they couldn't vote, they couldn't, be representative in legislative bodies and things like that, and it was only men, that was not equal.
Yep.
Equal is being able to vote, to have your opinion heard, and for that opinion to have the same weight and value as a man.
Yeah.
We don't have to be the same for that.
No, we don't. No.
That's and stop trying to make men. We went through this whole thing. It started with my generation,
Mhm.
and it just evolved and went downhill after that. My generation, it was we reached a point. I was probably a young adult at the time when we were being told, we needed to get in touch with our feminine side.
Yeah.
You know what I have to say about that? Fuck my feminine side. Again, that comes all back to nurturing, and it doesn't mean a man can't hug a child or listen or do all those things. But again, that's not our thing.
just
That's not
naturally
what
what
we're
we're
going to
built
be
to do.
best at.
Yeah.
That's not the thing.
Yeah.
Women can women participate in war? There are
100%.
women that have absolutely proved that they can but they weren't born and built that way.
Mm-mm.
Okay, not as a gender. That's not what they were created to do.
Yeah.
And we can't throw away all of history. And even in history, you would have one here, one there, but that's out of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of warriors. Yeah, it's cool to have that story, but it's one,
Yeah.
okay? One out of a million it's not the same.
No,
It's not the same.
No,
We
I agree.
weren't created for that. But it doesn't take away from that one person's ability to have done that.
100%.
I'm totally cool. I got nothing with that. That's totally cool. But we were built to do that. It is our job to protect. Now, of course, women always make children a priority, and sometimes they make children a priority over their husband, and that's wrong. But I would set off a whole nother
I was about to
firestorm
say,
with
we
doing
can
that.
really get into that if you wanted to. Yeah, that's a whole
No,
different
I mean,
conversation. Yeah.
my whole, my side leans more to the biblical side
Gotcha.
of
You can always have
of that.
another child thing almost, or
Well, I mean, just
like
God's intended roles and how men and women in relationships, how we're supposed to treat each other and support each other.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's
Gotcha.
I'm more on that side of the table
Gotcha.
in doing that, and when we can, doing like, Dawn is a great example. She'll flat out tell you, as a divorced woman whose kids were teenagers, there are things that she had to do and a role that she had to play and take on. And then just even later on being, by herself as they moved out and got their schooling and then went their way too. There are things that she had to take care of because she had no choice.
Yeah.
But she'll tell you, so she was capable of doing it, but she's tremendously grateful today for not having. She'd rather not have to do that.
Oh yeah.
She likes that I do shit and take care of shit and just get shit done. And she likes being in a supportive role and taking some things off of my plate and getting done because it supports me in doing the things that need to be done to take care of us.
Yeah.
And we each are better at different things, And I definitely think that's just where I kind of came down at that. Well, and this kind of leads into, this actually leads into what we're going to talk about is Andrew Tate is now in the United States.
Yes.
He was allowed to leave Romania because they've been able to they've not been able to really establish a case against him.
Mhm.
And finally, even as corrupt as that country is, they finally had to not necessarily back off, but where the judicial system is like, what are y'all doing? The prosecutors, you can't just prosecute someone because you don't like them. And so what they did is the judge basically said, yeah, the things you've done aren't good. You need to try again. And it looks like they're going to try again.
They're going to. Oh yeah.
But they're going to have a difficult time. But they did release him but he's still on
Probation or
he's still like on bail.
Yeah.
They kept the bail, which they normally don't. In situations like this, like what they're doing to him is not normal. They don't do that in most cases.
No.
Okay. So it doesn't matter whether you like him or not. I'm just telling you the basics of the facts of the case, that how he's being treated is not normally how they treat anybody in this corrupt country. Like you can even say various legal and procedural irregularities. Okay, and this is the Rolling Stone, and trust me, the Rolling Stone is a liberal rag.
I saw
Okay.
as soon as I saw the title
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, so that's they're not going to present this in
A good way.
a good way, and they're going to continue to try to paint him as
Bad people.
no, well, the human trafficking, because of how big a topic the human trafficking is. All right. Look, the bottom line is we all know, or if you don't know, I'll tell you, but he made a good part of his initial money managing cam girls.
Yep.
And actually, when you hear him tell it, it's kind of funny that actually he was like the technical support. He was doing the coding and the different things to make it all work and for them to all get paid, and he took a cut of it.
Yeah.
It's what it was. He wasn't like taking girls off the street and forcing them to be cam girls. And then I think what the problem was, you had out of all these girls, none of them really complained. And you eventually get 1 out of 1,000 that complains, and she's bitter because maybe he fucked her and he didn't want to have kids with her. He didn't want to have a relationship with her.
I believe so.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I think I heard him tell.
And we do know. I know you're supposed to always believe women, but we know that that's not the case. You know, going back to the Duke case and what happened there, and those Duke kids being charged and treated like they were rapists, and she made it up. And eventually it came out, and the shit the prosecutor did that was illegal, he eventually got disbarred. So, yeah, we know that a lot of times and especially when there's so few. You know, when you have 30 women about massages, or 40 or 50 or however many was, complaining about, you being in the wrong type of massage place because you want a happy ending. Yeah, when there's that many, it seems like there's probably a problem, but that's not what happened with these guys.
No.
And I think they want to eventually charge them in Europe. But you have to remember, they don't have free speech in Europe now. Just for saying outrageous things. So it would actually be easier for them to prosecute him in Europe on bullshit that nobody should ever be charged for, just because they don't have free speech anymore. That if you say the wrong thing on your social media account, they can come to your house and jail you. It's insane. Over there, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, that's funny as fuck.
And people are like we should care what Europe thinks of us. Europe is a fucking mess. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. We do not care. But anyways, so he has to go back on the 23rd of March.
Okay.
As like a check-in. So, but as I understand it, I think he can go back and forth. As long as he checks in, he can travel. I don't know what's done. They also took a bunch of his cars and his other stuff too, which he'll probably never get back, which is bullshit too. And we do that shit in this country, even to people who are eventually proved innocent. And, a case was, oh yeah, dude, what we do in this country, taking people's shit. Yeah. And think about it. If they like some cases might take 5 years to get resolved, right? What is the value of a supercar 5 years later, dude?
I mean, if it's not being driven,
it's still dropping, dude.
Yeah.
The value of a 2020 Lamborghini is not the same as it was in 2020, even though you're not driving it. It's not the same. And you lose that, and there's no way to give that back to you.
No.
That's just bullshit that they can do that. But anyways, they have done that. And so some of the things that I always want to know when somebody doesn't like them, what did they hear? What did they listen to that was probably out of context?
There's a lot of things he says out of context that people can take sideways.
Oh yeah, if you could pull out sentences, and if you don't have the sentences on the other side
Sounds
of
crazy.
each of that statement,
Yeah.
it can be. And other times he's just agitating.
He's doing it on purpose. He's getting people riled up.
He's trolling people like Trump does. Like one of the specific things that I think he does, and he did it. So he was on Patrick Bet-David's podcast yesterday,
I'm actually gonna go home and
and
watch it.
I watched it live when it came on, and I watched a good deal of it. I did watch from beginning to end. I didn't hear the whole thing, all the way through. There were parts I missed throughout as I was getting ready and doing other things. But anyways, that was the case. And we might want to go through here, I think.
Is this
and
where this
break it
came
to-
up? Talks about a father and raising children.
Well, that was his own personal story. This is different. This is because people talking about him because he has, I don't even know how many kids he has. He has a lot.
He has a few, yeah.
By multiple women.
Yeah.
But he takes care of them all.
Yes, he does.
They're all taken care of. Nobody's complaining. Nobody's bitching. The women aren't bitching. He says, and those, if you're going to be with him, this is how it's going to be. I'm going to take care of you. I may be with other women too. These women agree to this shit.
Yeah.
I'm not judging it on
whether
him on my personal morality, which is what people do. Now, Patrick Bet-David, I think, has 4 kids, and he would have 10 if he could, but it just hasn't worked out that way. But he personally believes in big families and likes big families and loves kids and that. And then you have Elon Musk, who's got 18, 20, 22. I don't even know. It's a lot.
He has a lot too, yeah.
And as I understand it, and it's funny, Andrew Tate goes on like, that's what kings do.
I mean, yeah, if you go back in history, that's just what kings
It
did.
is what they did.
Yeah.
They had wives and reproduced, the
Multiple
goal was,
times.
and they wanted boys.
Yeah.
As many as they could, right? Because
Yeah,
they
that's
wanted
what
a
it was.
legacy.
Exactly. Because you got to pass down the name to someone.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, the kings are different than everyone else. Why? Because they could support them. Now, the problem is some of these women in the hood got 5 baby daddies, and ain't a single one of them can take care of their kid. That's all kinds of fucked up. That's totally different than this.
Yeah, I agree. Yes.
But he talks about, he's not spending every day
Every
with
minute.
that kid, but he sees the kids a lot, and he's there at important times or whatever, or however he handles it. But he's able to do that. I don't have any issue with that. So it's different. Yeah, we could talk about. It wasn't exactly what we were talking about, but
I was just curious.
But definitely, it's definitely interesting. DeSantis, he talks about that.
Okay.
That like it's almost like DeSantis had to make a comment about him and him being in the country, and I don't know. Like he's a dual citizen. He is a citizen of this. Yeah. He has dual citizenship, so he is a citizen.
But I think it's just the UK. Is it the US? I think it's the UK that he's a dual citizen.
No, he's a citizen here.
That I do not know. I know his either his
He's a
dad or
US
his
citizen.
mom is in UK from the UK or something.
Mm-hmm. His dad was like a famous chess player or some bullshit. Yeah, it's citizenship. I don't know how many.
American and British. Okay.
See?
That's what it was.
Mm-hmm. So we were both right. So, but the one thing he likes to tweak people with that he has said in the past was how women can't drive. And he still said that yesterday. But he's got this grin on his face when he's doing it. And
he knows what he's doing.
And he half means it. Because
Yeah.
he does kind of, he's just saying,
if
not
we're
he
gonna look
can't,
at
but you like,
statistics.
You can't drive as good as me, or women can't drive as good as men, or just tweaks it like that. But no matter what you think of him, it's worth a watch
Oh yeah, I agree.
because to see it in the real context,
Mhm.
not of clips that are going to be taken and spread on TikTok and Instagram and that kind of stuff, because that will happen,
Oh yeah.
right? But to actually hear the question given to him and hear his full response, you probably will have a little bit different perspective. And keep in mind, it doesn't matter who the fuck it is, right? It doesn't matter who it is. You're never going to agree 100% with everybody. That's not a requirement.
That's impossible.
But he does say a lot of really smart shit, and you can't deny, I think you're stupid if you do, that he is smart, because you can't have an interview like he had with somebody like Patrick Bet-David, who's also extremely intelligent, and talk as much as he did about the various subjects and background, and he does it very articulately and like with meaning, with background, with, you know, statements that are well thought out, you know, that are common sense and factual based, and even places where you might disagree. You know, I kind of disagree with him a little bit on um, Palestine and Palestinians and Israel, the Jews,
Okay.
a little bit. But he actually, if you listen, if you don't block him out because you're on one side or the other of that issue, he he does try to look at it from both sides, instead of just being in one camp or the other camp and saying this camp is the one that's right. So, like, my whole thing is just the history of that area, and that whatever they've said, they've also said they don't want Israel to exist. So how do you make an agreement with other groups of people that surround you when they still to this day continue to say you should not exist as a people, that you should be wiped off the planet? Okay, that's really that's really a tough one to find
To
middle
fight
ground
yeah.
on, right? Right? And so I think that's it. But he does bring up good points on, you know, the relationship between the US and Israel compared to our relationship with other countries,
Okay.
and how, you know, Israel does have influence here in the US in both Democrats and Republicans, and have influence in a way that other countries don't have.
Okay.
And that's true. But he brings up, like, it's well thought out. Do you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
no,
it's
I'm actually really
even
excited to
things that,
go home and like watch this because
yeah.
I've seen a lot of his interviews. There was a few interviews he did with like a therapist and stuff like that because a lot of people are like,
Oh, I watched that.
and those are amazing. I love Andrew Tate as a person being interviewed is probably one of my favorite people to just watch get interviewed. Whether I agree with his opinions or do or don't,
But
that's another thing. But watching
he's
him and
good.
listening to 100%, I agree.
He's good
I
at
agree.
it.
I agree.
And to dismiss him because of a couple of things that you don't like,
Yeah.
or things that you think he's accused of, you know, if you would do us a favor, please, and hit that subscribe button. Also, very important is to share the show. Pick an episode you like, share it with friends that you think are like-minded. We are growing slowly but surely, and we will keep providing you with more content that you didn't ask for. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast, and I'm your host, Troy Neff. We throw out words like fascist and misogynist, and, you know, the Democrats are still using the stupid Nazi and Hitler shit that didn't work. Keep doing that, and I'm telling you, Democrats are going to get slaughtered at midterms. Slaughtered. Because if you impede progress that you voted for, or if the Democrats impede progress that the president is trying to deliver on the things he campaigned on, and we got people like we just had in the Senate, where Trump made an executive order, right, about no men and women's sports.
Mhm.
Well, when we have a new president, if it's a Democratic president, he could undo that. Well, any president after him could undo it with another executive order. So what needs to be done is that needs to be codified with legislation that's comes out of the House or the Senate. And they two together have a bill that becomes a law, and it becomes a law when the president signs the bill.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, they're trying to do that in Congress with as many things as they can. They're taking steps now, or the president is, with the executive order to kind of get us down that road and get that started.
Okay.
And then it's Congress's job, Mike Johnson's job, and it's also the Senate's job to put that stuff to, again, codify it in legislation. And they tried to do that in the Senate yesterday. But in the Senate, it's a different vote. For most things, it's like 60%.
Okay.
So the number is 60. We have 100 senators. It's 60-40. You got to get to 60, right? And they voted on party lines. Not one Democrat voted for this as far as keeping men out of women's sports.
Okay.
Not one.
That's
Dude, I mean, everybody who is, and some organizations, some news organizations are better at doing polls than others. And you need to be careful about trusting some polls of organizations who've gotten the election results so wrong, right? If they were way off in the election results, do you think they're going to be accurate with Trump's poll numbers?
probably not.
Probably not. All right. They're going to throw out whatever they throw out. But pretty much it's like 80-20, maybe even better than that,
Okay.
of people, and obviously more stronger on the Republican side. Then your independents, it's strong. And it's still a majority on the Democrat side of voters who believe that boys shouldn't be taking championships and medals away from girls. It just should not be a thing. And we're not trying to take away anyone's rights. You are taking away the right of the girl to fairly compete. That's the whole reason we have Title IX, is to give girls the chance to fairly compete against other girls like boys do. They're not supposed to have to compete and be better than the boys, because then if it didn't matter, then we wouldn't have men's and women's teams, for God's sakes. Fuck, man. Like, why is that so hard? But they keep pushing this issue that affects so few people. Remember what we said, like, and I've heard different numbers, but it's low. I've heard the president of the NCAA said there was like 8. And maybe there's more, and you have it in high school, and you had looked them up, and like we have this. But either way, it's low, and
compared to the
but
masses.
why is that the hill they want to die on? Why does that need to be? It's not a huge issue, and it's
Equality.
certainly not the biggest issue
that needs to be solved right now.
facing the USA right now. And you're just handing it over to the Republicans. If you're a Democrat, you're just making it super easy for the Republicans, which is just dumb on their part, It's really crazy, but that's where we're at. Just because you don't like a particular woman, or because you like women in a sexual way, does not make you a misogynist. I mean, most people are using these words, misogyny, narcissism, and fascism, and fascist, and they don't even, they truly don't understand
The meaning of
the meaning of the words because they're applying it all the fuck wrong. All wrong. But the Democrats have never cared about being hypocritical, ever. They know they're being hypocrites. They know that when they attack President Trump in his meeting with Zelensky, that there have been similar instances, either with Zelensky or other world leaders, that had to do with Obama, had to do with President Biden. And they're identical. The situations are very, very similar. The difference is the name after the word president. And if you would put President Trump's name where Biden's name is in that situation, well, they would feel that way. And they only feel that way. They're only opposed. You have to understand, Democrats are only opposing Trump on Ukraine. The number one reason isn't because they support Ukraine. They do. But it's not the number one reason. They could still support Ukraine, but you don't put Ukraine ahead of your own government, your own country. But it's that orange man bad. And you cannot listen. I don't believe anyone when they say they listen to the whole interview or the whole press conference with Trump and
Oval Office.
Zelensky
Mhm.
in the Oval, the actual whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't believe they actually listened to it, and you then are going to say Trump was disrespectful. Trump held his tongue a number of times when Zelensky said stuff that you're like, that is not smart. And Trump was cool, tried to keep moving,
Trying
get
to
the
get done
deal
with it as quick
done,
as possible.
get it done, and he just, and it's not cool for members of who are current members of Congress, who are current senators, to meet with Zelensky prior and advise a foreign leader to oppose your president. That's not how it's supposed to work, folks. And if a Republican did it, they would scream at that. But again, they don't care. And they don't care that we can fact check their dumbass in real time now. They don't have an appreciation for that, where they say something and we can show that they are a hypocrite even faster now. Because what did I tell you? The internet's a son of a bitch, ain't it?
That's
The
true.
internet will
That's true.
fucking smash you fast when you say you did or didn't say something, and they'll prove you did or didn't say something, and they will prove it motherfucking quick. It is good at that. There are people that are bored and they live for that shit.
Yeah.
Apparently.
You're not even wrong.
It's crazy. It's so crazy. Now, I've also heard different things, but you have to just wait on this. The latest was a Zelensky post where he did everything but say he was sorry. Like he got as close as he could to saying,
Some sort of
You know,
apology.
and you don't even have to take full responsibility. When I apologize, what I learned about, because I used to suck at apologies, dude. Like, I was horrible. Like most alcoholics are. We're horrible at apologies. That I learned always to find and accept my role in it. I apologize for my role in our miscommunication and any disrespect that I showed the president was not what I wanted to convey, and I'm sorry it went in that direction. That's how you can apologize, and you can apologize and not be weak. Apologies, like, people need to get past that, and that includes Trump too. Okay, I'll throw him in there, but not like how y'all want to, like how you Trump haters want to throw him in there. But I will throw Trump in there too. That it is okay, and people and voters will respect you for apologizing or admitting when you haven't gotten something right. But what you need to do when you do that is say, look, I didn't get this right. I tried to go this way and get this result and it didn't work. And that's what I chose to do. And I was wrong. We're going to try a different way. This is the way we're going to try now. You're not all going to always have success on your first effort. And Trump knows that. You're not always going to have success. But that's not what success is about. Success is understanding when you are failing or not getting that positive result to stop doing it and try something else. That is literally how you succeed in life, in business, everything, in the gym, in dieting, in everything. If it's not working, stop it. Well, I've been dieting for 2 months. I haven't lost a pound. Well, you're not doing something right. Change it. Right? Change it. Change up the diet. Change something up. Something. If it's not working for a reason, what methods are you employing? You have to break it all down. This is the methods I'm working in my training. You know, someone that Dawn was talking to, they just do way too much fucking cardio. They way overdo the cardio to the point of it being ridiculous. And if they cut that way back and spent more of the time lifting, their results would change. So it's not that they're not doing something positive. The cardio is positive, but it's not producing the results that they want. So guess what you need to do? That person's not running a marathon. Okay, you're not trained for a marathon. If you're trained for a marathon, run. But you're not. You're more focused on weight loss. And lifting is always going to be better. But my whole point is just having success or not having success with something, being honest with yourself, being honest with others, and then just going on. Those are all good traits to have. And don't worry about what somebody else is going to say about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking matter. That includes in relationships. You know what? And nobody knows this better than me. Okay? Nobody. Because I've been married a few times. Every relationship will fail until it doesn't. Every one. You're going to fail at 1, 3, 5, 10, until you get to whatever the number is, and everybody's number is different. They're all going to fail until it doesn't. And every one of those times, somebody in your circle said, that person ain't good for you. I don't think that person's right. And they are all right until when they aren't. And somebody said that the seventh time, and the seventh time it worked out, and that was the one. But there was still somebody that said something about that person.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it's going to be. That's what other people see. You got to take that stuff with a grain of salt. Do you? And sometimes, part of it takes some of us, like me, longer to figure out ourselves to be in a place to do that and to find somebody that we're not just accepting, but we're actually, that we're not settling, that we're actually choosing someone that's good for us. I need to weave back. I did get, but there was good stuff, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
I like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that alone. So, because I was also talking to Brendan. You should talk to Brendan too. So, one of my other employees, Brendan, needs to watch that too. He said he used to like him, and now he hasn't. And I'm guessing that a little bit of it has to do with some female influence in his life too.
Trust me, the females do not. One of my closest females hates that I will even like quote Andrew Tate or say something that he said or even bring his name up. Women do not like this man.
Right, but how many of them have actually listened to
Probably,
even a whole interview of any?
I probably
anytime?
couldn't tell you, but if I had to guess, probably none. If I had
They
to
saw
guess.
clips
Exactly.
or they heard.
Exactly.
It was in the paper. He's,
Some headline.
Human trafficking.
Exactly. Yeah.
which is just bullshit.
Oh yeah. No, I agree. I like I said, like we were talking about it earlier. Like I remember when he first like got super popular and he first came
Mhm.
out and he was saying all these like outlandish stuff. Like that doesn't like yeah maybe he believes in some of it, but a lot of that's just to gain attention to come back. Like that was the whole thing right there.
And he even said that.
That's
he's
exactly,
admitted that.
exactly. It's not like
And
he's over
nobody-
here. Go
Well,
ahead.
No, the thing was, what your part of your point that's really good
Mhm.
is it's nobody cared what he said at that point because he didn't have as big a following.
Exactly.
And then what happens is he got big, and then what happens with the internet? They all like are these sleuths and going back and finding this that you said and that what you said. And you can make anyone look bad. It's no different than trying to make Elon Musk look bad for doing this.
I still have mixed feelings about that. Like,
But he's not a secret Nazi, dude. Like he
Hey,
was
from what we
not
know,
like
not-
right, but he's not a secret Nazi.
Yeah.
It's just like he's a lot of things, but he's not a secret Nazi. That just
That'd
doesn't.
be an interesting choice for a secret Nazi, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so funny to think
mhm,
about.
mhm. I'm just saying you could make anybody look bad
Anyone. Oh yeah.
because we found not just pictures. Pictures are easy to find of other people doing the
Oh
same
yeah.
thing,
Oh yeah.
but finding a video. So it's not just their arm out, but the
It's-
exact same
exactly,
thing.
Exactly.
Like there was the Macron from France.
Okay.
There's video of him doing it.
Okay.
So like there's videos of others. Like so it's,
Oh, yeah.
that's easy to find.
Oh yeah.
So you can make anyone look bad with that if that's what your goal is or what you want
Exactly.
to do.
It's just depending on what you
Or
are looking to do, especially
Trump-
with technology.
Trump and several other people were, on an airplane with Jeffrey Epstein. Trump never went to the island or anything like that. And a number of people that are in the Epstein files of what was previously released, and then they just released the same shit again, which was stupid,
Yeah.
but that have never been accused of anything. And then there's others that have been accused, like, the one Prince being accused, who was there, who these young girls remember seeing there, who have been identified in that way,
Okay.
But what will they do? They'll still put a picture up of Trump standing next to Epstein. You can fuck anyone with that. Republicans would do the same things with like Obama. Put Obama next to Farrakhan or some crazy preacher or some bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. One
To connect them.
one simple picture or one single quote or something can like
and,
we said
and it
like out of
can be
context,
valid or maybe not.
and we
but-
until proven like we just don't know. Yeah, no, 100%.
No, but they treat it like it's a fact.
Oh yeah.
When it's absolutely not a fact.
You got to
that
believe
that
everything you
happened.
see on the internet,
Yeah.
It's the internet's the truth.
Well, I tell you what is interesting on that point that you just made is until you've been in the media yourself
Mhm.
and had articles written about you and a situation you were involved in, like I have. Like I said, it was a much smaller scale. It was Toledo.
Yeah.
But it's still
the same concept
it,
of
it was me in a pond and big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
But it was still the same concept, and realizing that only 60% of what was in there was the truth.
actual truth. Yeah.
You don't realize of how much you read
It's truth or not.
is
or
really true. That when it finally happens to you, it gives you such a different perspective. Like, why should I believe 100% of this article
Mhm.
when this article of me, 65% was true, 75% was true, 60% was true in each of these different ones. And it was never close to being full accurate or a full depiction of what happened. Then you take that back, and I believe Bill Murray, the actor, was just on Joe Rogan.
Yes.
And I haven't seen that one yet, but I want to.
Either.
But he has an issue now with Bob Woodward, who is a famous journalist, because of Watergate and everything. There. Bill Murray says Bob Woodward's Nixon reporting soiled because of inaccurate book on John Belushi. So his whole point is he knew a lot about the John Belushi story. And then he read the book that he did on John Belushi, right?
Well,
because of how much he realizes is inaccurate, that now makes him question, well, what about all the other stuff you wrote? That was because you don't think about it until it happens to you. Do you know? That's what I'm saying. And it wasn't about it happening to him, but it was within his sphere, within his wheelhouse, somebody he knew very intimately and knew their story and their history and stuff. So it made him question this. And then now you go back and say, well, I should question that too. Maybe that wasn't accurate. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And I think, how do I want to say it? I think Andrew Tate, I don't really care if somebody dislikes me because of him. I will not give a shit. I promise you I won't. But I believe he does more good than not. And I don't think that I don't think that what negative things can be brought, because I don't believe he's into human trafficking. That's not been shown to be true based on the evidence so far. And you see the way it's been working out too. And again, where this is a case too, and we do this sometimes. We even do it in the U.S. where we have somebody we don't like, and we throw the full power of the government at them to try to find a crime. So it's not that there's a crime and you find out who committed the crime as the investigation. It's where you don't like somebody and you just investigate them as hard as you can to find anything, hoping. And they've tried to do that with Andrew Tate, and it didn't work, even in Romania. And they tried to do it here in the U.S. against Trump, and it didn't work. They tried.
And they'll keep on trying too. They won't stop until.
No, they won't.
There's a reason.
But that's
for them
not
to
how
stop.
the justice system is supposed to work. It's not supposed to be that you just target an individual and then look for the crime. It's just not supposed to be that way. But I do, at least for me, because I think I do lean on that side that men need to be more masculine. Men need to step up and be fucking men. And we're not doing it. And we've done it through music. We've done it through movies. All these things trying to get men to be pussies. That's what's going to attract the woman. Well, I can tell you that even I have been influenced. And I can tell you the result of that was not good.
Yeah.
That being that way, because either they won't respect you.
Exactly.
The woman won't respect you.
Yep.
When you do that.
It's that
they make it like they want you to be this way, this one way. But then if you follow that, you'll lose their respect.
That was the easiest way to put it. Honestly, that's.
Thank you. Yeah, because I've had it happen. I've done it.
Yeah.
and
me too.
lost the
No,
respect. And I'm like, what
100%.
the fuck am I doing? Because that's not even me.
Hey,
Why am I doing that?
hey, you're preaching to the choir right now, man.
To
100%.
to please someone else?
100%.
Now, again, I believe in being a better me all the time and improving that. But, totally turning ourselves into pretzels for someone else, fuck no.
I agree.
And that's the difference in my relationship now that I have with Dawn. Of course, there's no guarantees, never is.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's what I think makes us different and stronger, is understanding that
The roles.
the roles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I said, she was able to do it, didn't want to, but she did it because she had to, and she'd rather not have to.
Yeah.
And it's the dumbest shit. It's when there's an issue with a contractor who's doing work at your house, who's being an asshole. It's about taking care of that business with that contractor, and that's for you to do, not her.
Yeah.
Be the man, step up, get it done. Tell the guy to be on time, get the work done, do what you're supposed to do, whatever. But be a man.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. And I think actually what gets missed about Andrew Tate is the focus he puts on the men to be better men to attract a higher quality woman. That's totally missed and glossed over. He's not like just slamming women. No, he's talking about men being better at earning money, at being stable, at being able to provide a life for themselves and potentially, a family and, a wife or girlfriend or like whatever your arrangement is that you agree to. But it's doing those things and stepping up, and he's not about being average. If you want to be average, do not listen to Andrew Tate. He's not about being average.
That's for sure.
He's not. And it's not just about being tough or violent, but it is about being able to take care of yourself in situations if you have to.
Yeah.
If you have to. He's not advocating you randomly beat up people, but be able to at least participate.
100%. Yeah. No, I get that.
And I'm totally cool with that. Like, I'm totally good getting my ass kicked. I'll still do it.
It'll teach you a lesson, that's for sure.
Look, you're not going to win them all, even if you win most of them. And I'm totally good with that. But I'm not going to not stand up because I might come out on the short end, or even when you win, somebody might slip one in anyways.
Yep.
That's what one of my friends, one of my close Mexican friends, like his dad and his uncles, they were all Golden Glove champions.
Hell yeah.
Like they were good. Yeah, young Mexicans like Golden Gloves and fights, and even today.
Yeah, I think
Mexicans are some of the best fighters in the world.
I think we're genetically. I was watching a video where like we possess
you
a certain
guys just
gene.
Fight for fun.
Yeah, we have like a gene,
it's
gene.
A fight gene.
Yeah, it's weird. I'll send you the video if you're interested. But it actually goes down and breaks down like the different genetics and Mexicans. And
I totally believe it. I totally believe it.
Yeah.
And he was my friend, he was a year younger than me.
Okay.
And he was totally a good young boxer, like really good. And he could have went somewhere with it. But there's one thing that kept him from it. And that he walked away and did wrestling. No. It was that even though he was good and was winning, he didn't like getting hit.
Fair enough.
That totally was it. Because
fair.
He said, yeah, I can tag them 10 times.
Yeah.
But I don't like the one time they hit me.
No, that's fair.
That's totally it. Now, he could defend himself as good, and he was all good in the other stuff as a young man and as a man. But yeah, to like do it for
like a profession.
As a profession or at a high level of being an amateur and stuff, like that's like, yeah, I just didn't want to get hit anymore.
Hey, no, that's fair.
I
totally
honest.
I totally
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Totally understand that. but it is about men being better men, being better fathers, you know, of the role that we do have of truly accepting it and stepping into that role and what we are supposed to be best at doing those things. And again, being able to do that will put you look, if I had money at a younger age,
Hmm.
that's going to put you in a different circle of people at that age and give you different choices
Yep.
as far as a partner goes.
Yeah.
Too.
Everything. Yeah. The
Everything.
people you hang out will determine a lot more than you think in life.
And I've still gone up and the ladder as far as with the people around me, and not everybody's going to go with you. You know, some are only going to go part way up with you. Maybe only one of the five will go all the way. Maybe none of them will go all the way. The ones that, you know, were with you 10 years ago, maybe not a single one of them is with you today. I can tell you that, you know, I've had different men around me at different times. My friend Mike Newcomer, he's still there with me, and it's been some time now. Like it's probably been 15 years at least,
Wow.
you know. And there have been others in the circle that were 2 years, 5 years, 6 years that just aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
But what he wanted to do, I mean, we both still wanted to grow, and we're growing. And when you don't start out at a higher end because of your family position or whatever, you know, or where you go to school and those things, you need to find a partner that wants to grow with you. If they don't want to grow up that chain with you, it's not going to work. It's not going to be what's best. So it can still be done, but they have to be willing to grow with you. Or, you know, what would be smarter, I didn't have someone to show me, is I could have had even more success earlier and focused on that. And that's probably what most men should do in their 20s, is focus on getting established, you know, personally. You know, you can be in relationships, but don't try to be in a relationship that you hope is going to
Last forever.
last forever. And instead, focus, because that is the time when you can really get a jump on things. You really want to wait, you know, until you're 40, you're 56 like I am, and I had to do it again. You want to wait that long to do that shit? Man, if I could implore anything to young men, do it sooner. Do it first. Get that established. Get that, you know, learn how to make money. If you just want a job, do not listen to me. That's not the thing. You should be gathering the tools and skills in your 20s so that, you know, for sure into your 30s you can apply that to really blow the fuck up, man. And then find a partner, find a life, do what you want to do then. It's just going to put you in a different group of people that is just going to make a difference. I never really understood, and most of us didn't, and I don't think our parents, when they told us, especially our mothers, even understood how right they were when they would question about who you're hanging around and don't hang around this person stuff. We as young people, we do not take that seriously enough. And the parents who even mention it probably don't stress it enough. But that is so, I can't even, you can tell how hard it is for me to express how even important it is. The problem is I didn't realize until so much later.
I mean, 99% of people aren't going to realize until, because kids are caught up.
Well, that's why the 1% is the 1%, dude.
And that's true.
That's why. And I am going to continue to fight to be, even if I'm at the bottom of the 1%, I want to be in that 1% in every aspect, physically, in business, everything. I want to be somewhere in that top 1%. And, if it's not someone else's goal, okay, I don't care. That's okay. I'm not slamming on you. But don't expect to have what the people that are focusing and doing the work to have that. D- Don't be mad you don't have it. You're not doing the work. You're not doing the work on yourself. You didn't acquire the skills. Stop thinking you should be fucking making more when you don't have the fucking skills yet to make more. Get the skills, then apply it, and it'll come. It will. The opportunities will come, and they just come to you because of your focus on it. And that's so true. Like what you focus on is what you get more of. And what these Democrats don't realize when it comes to Trump is when they focus on him, even though they put all this negative shit out there, you're just going to get more of Trump. You're just going to get even more of it. Because that's when I said this years and years ago, when Obama was running for re-election, that the problem that Republicans had and the reason they weren't going to win and that Obama would get a second term is because they had so much focus on him and not on focuses on what they wanted to do and a different road to take or a positive. It wasn't on that. It was just like Democrats are doing now. Orange man bad. It was just like that with Republicans. It was Obama bad. That was it. They didn't have be pro peace. Don't be anti-war. Because if you are anti-war, you know what you're going to get? What's your focus? War. You're going to get more war. Instead of focusing on your struggle, instead of focusing on your bills, and this is the problem I have with some financial people out there now, even like Dave Ramsey. He's not wrong about money management necessarily, but his focus is on just managing your broke ass money. Where's the focus, Dave, on making more? How about that? You know what else besides scrimping and driving a 15-year-old vehicle and all that other dumb shit? Another strategy is to fucking make more. Now, don't be stupid with it and just blow it, but there's another way to get yourself out of debt. Make more to pay down the debt. It's just a different focus. That's all I'm saying. Like, it's a different mentality. And that's the mentality that this show is about. And that's why I like Andrew Tate. And I'm not going to ever apologize for that. Unless he actually really did do something totally crazy and disgusting and that was convicted of and there was real evidence and I believed it. Then that would be different. And I'd be willing to admit it then. But that doesn't mean that I'd still... It maybe would diminish it or people would try to diminish him in that way, but it's still not going to mean that the things he said about men and masculinity and about men being better men, that's his real focus. His focus isn't really on attacking women. Most of his focus is on men needing to be better. And men haven't had a place to look for that for a while. And instead of being, if you don't like Andrew Tate, then why isn't there another example that young men are looking to? Why did they choose him? Why aren't they choosing someone else? You need to answer that question. If you think he's wrong, well, then who's right? Are you just going to be in a rudderless boat? just go nowhere? Because that's what's happening. Our young men have been put second. They've been put, look at the statistics in school now and how much worse boys are doing today in about every statistical category compared to girls. And focus was put on girls, maybe rightfully so. I don't deny that, that because things have changed. But in the process of that, we've left some boys behind. And they don't know. I mean, we don't want all men to be all the same kind of man. So what does it mean to be a man? But they've had no example, seriously, of what kind of man to be. And if you don't like them following someone else, then maybe you should step up and be a representative of the kind of man that you think other young men should look towards. But there hasn't been. There's been that void. And he's filled that void. Don't be mad at him. Be mad that you haven't done it or that nobody else has done it. You can't be mad somebody else didn't step in the role without looking at yourself and why you didn't step in the role. Why can't? I'm not anybody. Why are you not anybody? Who put that ceiling on you that you couldn't be the one? If social media hasn't taught us anything, it has taught us that it can be anybody. And some people aren't good examples and they do get 10, 15 minutes of fame. But if the Hawk Tua girl, right? She blew up, she blew out. So if it's not real and legitimate, they won't last. He's had a lot of shit thrown at him, and he's still standing after all of those attacks that most people could not take. So I think it's cool that he's, I do think it's cool that he's actually here, and we'll see where it goes. I do want to, we don't really have enough time now, but I do want to start focusing on some of the things happening at HHS and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and some of the health initiatives. Everything is going full blast. And we do want to check in with those things and be a part of, on this program, as I've said, be a part of the Make America Healthy Again. We want to be part of that movement and encourage you to be healthy, to be better, because to me, it affects everything you do. When you're better, everything you're going to be, when you're healthier, you're going to be a better father. You're going to be a better partner. You're going to be a better employee. Why are you going to be a better employee? Well, if you're healthy, guess what? You're going to show up to fucking work. You're going to have the energy to do well on projects, to get promoted, or to find other employment that will value you, whatever that is. So health, we're absolutely all about it in supporting this, in supporting Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the MAHA movement. So, and I don't have yet, we are working on a t-shirt right now. We're working on I Am the Weapon t-shirt. We did get that finalized. So that's going to be made here shortly. And I want to work on a MAHA t-shirt, I think, too. Some kind of MAHA t-shirt. Like maybe MAHA AF as MAHA as fuck. Because I've seen MAGA as fuck t-shirts. But how about Make America Healthy Again as fuck t-shirts? I think that might work. I come up with some pretty good t-shirts. Like that's the thing. I wish I was doing more t-shirts because I'm getting asked every day. While I was sitting here right before we started, hey, you got any new shirts in? Hey, you got any new shirts in? So definitely want to do that. I have a few to clear out of what we do have, but not many. We're getting down there. So that's it for today. Check out if you want to, like, and share your opinions about it below. course, on Andrew Tate. He's going to be a topic while he's here because he's going to make the circuit, and he is good for ratings for different ones. So people are going to want to talk to him, and it's at the very least, it should help us have conversations about those things. We got to stop with this shit that we can't have conversations about certain things. There should be nothing off the table that we can't have conversations about, and do it in a more constructive way. Because I'm engaging in shit that's not constructive, and many of you are too. And we need to take a look at that. I do as well, to see how we can be more constructive in our talks with each other, to find more common ground, because the government is not going to bring us together. Trump is not going to bring the country together. He makes his speech tonight. We have to bring us together. And I love y'all. I love this country. And for all of our flaws, there is no place that I'd rather be a citizen than right here. And even you fucking haters, Orange Man is bad people. Even y'all have to admit that one thing. Maybe that's our common ground. There is no better country in the world with all of our flaws to be, or that will give you more opportunity than you'll have right here in the United States of America. With that, I'm out. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life.